Hello everyone, welcome to IT Twist. My name is Gaurav. In this video we will learn in depth about strings, like what are the different string functions in Python, formatting of strings using format method, Python 3's F strings. In the previous videos we have worked with strings. In this video we will dig more deeply. If you are not subscribed to this channel, please hit the subscribe button below in order to get notified about programming tutorials and technology updates. Let's get started. So let's create a string of name brand, and in order to declare a string we can use the single quotes or double quotes. So for example, in brand name I am storing it the value of Google. So strings are collection of characters. In other words, we can also say that strings are nothing but a list of characters. So Google. So strings are nothing but a list of characters. Python doesn't have a character data type. A single character is simply a string with a length of 1. So for example, if I will say brand of 1, and when I will print this particular value, you will get a particular character which is nothing but O. So when I will run this Python stringsindepth.py, you will get O. So we can access a particular character of a string by using this indexing feature. So for example, I want to access the character at the last position. If you recall from our list video, we can do that easily by using -1. So when I will run this Python stringsindepth.py, you will find E. We can also return a range of characters. This concept is really simple. If you watch my list video, if you haven't watched that, I will suggest you go back and follow that particular video. So we can easily do it by using the colon operator, by specifying this start position and end position. End position is always excluded. So we can specify the position. For example, I want to access my particular characters in my string starting from 0 to position say 2. So we will specify 3 here, and when I will go back to my terminal, sorry, it is brand. So when I will run Python stringsindepth.py, you will find GOO. E is coming because this particular thing is already there. So let's get rid of this line, and when I will run again, you will find GOO, which is none other than starting from 0 till position of 2. So we specified here 0 and 3, so 3 is not always included. Now we will see some of the string functions in Python. So let's start with length. So in order to calculate the length of the string, we can easily do it by using this len function and passing this particular variable, which is none other than brand. So when I will run Python stringsindepth.py, you will find the length of 6, so which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. After the length function, we have strip function as well. So what strip function will do? So for example, we have this much white spaces between as well, and at the end as well we have this much of white spaces, and we want to remove the white spaces from the starting and from the ending. So how to do that? We can easily do it by using strip function. So we will just do brand dot strip. Okay, and when I will run Python stringsindepth.py, you will find this thing. So this particular white space will not get removed because it is not in the starting or in the ending. Okay, and similarly, if we execute this particular function here and we plan to access this brand here, so you will find this white spaces will be here since we are not overriding this brand variable. So in order to do that, we will store this brand.strip in variable, which is again brand. So we are just updating this brand variable. So when I will access this again, you will find it is working as expected. So moving ahead, we have other functions as well, like for example, I have string like this Google and with the initial capital, and I want to convert this whole string into a lowercase. So how to do that? Instead of the strip function, we will just use lower. So when I will execute this, you will find Google all in the lowercase. So when I will execute this and I will not store this in any other variable, so you will find the difference that it will print Google as we defined with G capital. Got it? So when we are accessing any of the string functions, please make sure to store it in a variable and access that variable for your purpose. And similar to this lower function, we have upper function as well. So in this, we can convert this Google all into the uppercase. So when I will execute this, you will find Google all in uppercase. Now consider one case. I want to replace this O's of Google with P's. So how to do that? So we can replace as well strings inside the string. So we can replace this both O with any another character, let's say P, and when I will execute this, you will find GPLE instead of OO. Now after replace function, just consider one case. I want to convert this string into a list of substring. So let's take a look in another function which is split. Just consider an example. I have this string which is Google, Microsoft, Apple, and these all are combined with the commas in a string. So how to convert this into a sequence of substring combined in a single list? So in order to do that, we can use one another function which is split. So when I will use this split, and it will ask for this separator. So separator is a string. By using that, you can divide your larger string, which is brands, into a substrings. So now I want to split this particular string on the basis of these commas. So I will specify the separator as comma. So when I will run Python strings index.py, you will find Google, Microsoft, Apple, which are divided into a particular substrings and combined it into a list. So these are the basic string functions. If you want to explore more, you can go to this print line and enter help. And in help function, you can enter this str. So when I will run Python strings index.py, you will find bunch of methods of string. So when you press enter, so you will find bunch of functions like capitalize, case fold, center, count, ends with, find. So I will request you guys to practice all other string functions listed down here. If you have any challenges doing that, you can comment in the comment section below. Now we will see something called multi-line strings. So for example, I want to write down a particular thing which is really long. We can do easily by using these three quotes. So these three quotes at the start and these three quotes at the end. So when I will hit enter, and I can write down here is really great organizations, and I really like the approach. So in this way we can define the multi-line strings. So when I will get rid of these two lines, and when I will print this brand, you will find all of the multi-line strings over here. When I will execute Python strings index.py, you will find Google, Microsoft, Apple is a really great organizations. I really like the approach. One more thing, if we want to check if a certain phrase or character is present in string, we can use in or not in operators. So for example, if we want to check this great is present in this brand string or not, so we can do like this, great in brand, and when we will print this, you will find true because it is present over there. So if we want to check a particular string or phrase is not present in a string, we can also use this not in operator. So when I will run Python strings index.py, you will find false, as great is present in this string. Now we will see one really important topic of string, that is string concatenation and different ways of formatting strings. So I'm getting rid of these lines and I'm creating two variables. So let's create one variable as thing, which will hold the value of string, say programming, and after that let's create another variable, say language, and it will hold a string value of say Python, and I want to print say programming is fun in Python. So how to do that? So I will do that by using this print function. Since programming is stored in a variable of thing and Python is stored in a variable called language, and is1in is a static string, so we can use this thing, and after that we will use this plus operator, and then we will define our static string, which is is1in, and after that we will again use this concatenation operator and we will use this language. So when I will save it and run python strings in depth.py, you will find programming is fun in Python. So there are different things we can format and concatenate the strings together. So we will give this placeholder, which is starting and the ending pair of curly braces, and after that we will give is fun in, and after that we will again give this placeholder, and then we will use dot format and we will provide the arguments here. So we will provide thing and language. So this thing will go in the first placeholder and language will go in the second placeholder. So when I will save this and when I will run python strings in depth.py, so you will find programming is fun in Python. So likewise we can also do this 0 and we can specify 1 as well, and when I will again run this you will find the similar result. In Python 3 there is an introduction of one more way to format string, which is called literal string interpolation, or commonly referred as f-strings. The idea of f-strings is to make string formatting more simpler, so let's see that as well. So f-string is very easy. So first of all we will get rid of this format function. So before this particular string we will specify f, and inside this parenthesis or placeholders we will specify like thing, and in second one we will specify language. So as you can see that this is a really cleaner way to do the things. So when I will run python strings in depth.py, you will find programming is fun in Python. So that's it for this video. If you have any queries or suggestions, please feel free to comment in the comment section below. See you in the next video. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching.